So our three enemies was wind, the heat from the sun. Kilifi is beautiful, Baolala is beautiful, but that wind is really relentless. And the sun is pretty hot. I'll add the fourth one, which is also evaporation. Most people think that planting an avocado tree is the hard part. It isn't. Keeping them alive is, especially when you're planting 700 plus young avocado seedlings in the harsh conditions of the coastal Kenya, especially in Baolala. So we had to figure out a way of the solution to our three problems. Those plants need about 20 liters of water, for each plant, 20 liters of water, So if it's really hot and you have the drip button irrigation, putting the water there, and the heat is pounding on the plants, pounding on the ground, the temperature on the ground is increasing, the evaporation rate of evaporation is pretty dramatic, so you lose a lot of water there also. So we had to search for a solution that's also sustainable. So we consulted experts, we did observation. So the experts said, okay, for the wind, okay, you can put this structure, this stakes, and you put like some kind of material around each plant. So of course, once you have the mound for the avocado, and then you put some stakes around, and then you put some kind of protective material around, and which we found like a cheaper way, which is also works very well. You have to find simple ways of making a big impact. And one of the simple ways we did was to get just a simple sack, the sack that you put corn and charcoal and all these things. Get a sack and then cut the sides and then wrap it around the plant, rather than getting expensive material to cover around and you pay a bunch of money. So we had to buy, it was a couple thousands of sacks for all those plants, and a bunch of stakes. Now those sticks, I send my guys to go into the bush. We get those sticks from there, from the bush, and there's abundance of those sticks. So we just use a cheap material, but to make a very big impact with cheap material, we just gotta use our mind, So we had to figure out a way of the solution to our three problems. So we did that. At first, that was our first initial phase, was to put the stakes around the mounds and then put the sack around that helps with the wind, kind of breaks the wind. So the tree inside does not have this mechanical stress of being swayed back and forth. So that solved that, but it did not solve the issue of the sun. The sun was still pounding from up above. So we had to come up with another method. So we observed the wind, that structure was helping the wind, but the heat was still too strong. So what we did, we also used AI, artificial intelligence. And with AI, it does not replace experience. It just gives us other options and better ways of doing things. So I put that structure that I had on AI. So I said, I need to solve this issue. We're having an issue of the sun, the issue of the wind, the issue of evaporation, and the sunburn. And then we're dealing with the transplant shock. What is the best way we can incorporate all these ideas together? We put that on AI, and it came up with a beautiful plan. You see the power of AI, in this is like modern farming, So it said you also raise it up like a few degrees, like maybe 30 degrees, instead of putting the net on top of the windbreaker. You also make it slanted upwards towards the east. The sun rises from the east, like so, and then it sets on the west. So by the time the sun rises on the east, that heat intensity is not that great. So hence you raise it up towards the sun. So when the sun gets up here around noon is the hottest. And then the reason why it needs the slanting like this, so when the sun goes towards the west into the evening time, the radiation is pounding on the net, shaded net, much longer, so it protects it better. Who would have thought that? Man, I was just putting it straight. That's just the power of AI. So that was our system. That was our system. How we designed it. The workers did a great job. With the way they did it. We had to do a few corrections here and there. Some were too high. Some were too low. Also incorporating that the plants will also be growing towards the shaded net. Because right now, all we're doing is just fighting against time and the transplant shock. We're just buying time. At some point, we'll have to remove those shaded net and just have no shaded net at all. But right now, we're just buying time because of the transplant shock, just so we minimize the mechanical stress, which is the wind. We minimize the heat stress from the burn and all these things. And then we also maximize the plants to develop the root system so that they can have a new shoot and all these things. So that was our design, and we saw after observing this structure, we observed that the plants inside were starting to even have new shoots. We're also seeing that they're making the root system is getting better. So this system is actually working. Today, these young trees are still small, still fragile. They're protected. This one decision that we did is one decision for one tree, one structure, one solution. All this, we're looking at each individual plant individually, and we're seeing this solution is for this one tree. We're trying to minimize the losses. We're not accepting the statistics, but one step closer towards success, but it's working. This system is working. I haven't seen anybody with this system. Of course, when AI will not just give you answers, you have to also have an imagination. Put your imagination, put the experts' inputs, put all that together and let the AI just develop it and give you a better scenario. So I'm so happy that our farm is starting to thrive. Those trees we're seeing, we haven't seen anyone that's being any losses at this time. We want to keep it that way. And our principle is, I tell my guys, go scouting, check each tree individually. Check this one. You pretend that this is the only tree that we have in our farm, but now you have about more than 700 to individually check. So it's hard work in the beginning, but this is like a baby. A baby in the beginning, it needs all this attention. You need 2 hours of sleep. Every 2 hours you're awake. They want this, they want that. They're screaming about this, they're screaming about that. But once you develop these children, this avocado, I see them as my children. So each one of them, I treat them individually. And that, my friend, is what we're doing at Omani Farm. And I can't wait to see how the future holds. And probably I'll do another video when we have now the seedlings have grown all the way up to the net. That's when we'll start removing the net slowly. and then we'll eventually remove that, and the trees will be stronger. Once they are stronger, then we remove the wind breakers, we remove the shaded net. And by the way, the one that we're using is 50% shaded net, and we did it twice, so 2 layers of shaded net on top. And keep it like about 30 degrees, tilted 30 degrees towards the east. If this is your east, tilt it towards east, so that when the sun comes up, and then when it hits at noon, it's still protected all the way to the evening, and that even at 4 or 5, it's not penetrating through your defense system. So this is our defense system. We did this solution just to buy time for the young plants to establish the strong root system, also to prevent this mechanical stress of the wind, to prevent the sun. Instead of putting all this paint on the leaves and hindering photosynthesis, we just want it to grow naturally, but we want to give it the environment it needs to succeed. And that, my friend, is what we do at Omai Farm. So thanks for watching. I'm sure we'll have another video just to show how this farm is doing, especially when we remove all those windbreakers and the shaded net, and then we want to see how they've all matured. I'm hoping to get to the 100 percentile, but nothing in this world is 100%. Of course, I'm hoping to get to the 99% at least. But with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.